question. We all think about a spiritual journey, don't we? So if we're here, that's something that we care about it. That's something that we try to live. We are in a spiritual center. So this is very important for us. The spiritual journey, it's very important to us, right? Right, okay. So I want to ask you a question. Have you ever thought about the feminine side, how important it is for our spiritual journey to embrace the feminine energy? Be honest with yourself. Have you ever thought about that? No. Yes. Okay. So that's an important issue. That's something that we need to think about it, because the universe, it has, what we call, because we don't have enough word to describe, we have the masculine energy and we have the feminine energy. This is how the universe created. Jung talked about that a lot, and it's not really up if you are a male or a female. Please don't go to that side, because we're not going to talk about that tonight. We're going to talk about the energy that creates the universe. Yin and Yang, if you want to go that route. There is a lot of people, there is a lot of philosophers, there is a lot of even religions that talks about this force. Some will say that the feminine side will be on the left side of your body, and the masculine energy is going to be on the right side of your energy. But when we talk about the spiritual journey, what we're looking for, right, it's actually the balance between these two energies. And the problem that we have, and this includes health problems, is when our energies, masculine, feminine, are not in balance. It's very common that sometimes, think about you, every time you have a pain in your body, usually comes in one side of your body. Even if you have back pain, sometimes I go, it's here, no, but it goes right there to the left side or to the right side. And that has a lot to do with this energy, this feminine and masculine energy, because the universe was created by these two energies. We, our body, are also created with these two very important elements. And what we're looking for in a spiritual journey is to balance. When you are able to balance the energy between the feminine and the masculine, is when we're talking about spirituality, is when we're going to reach what we're looking for. It's very important, okay? So spirituality at its core, it's about connection. Connection to ourselves, to others, and to the universe. The feminine principle embodies qualities such as compassion, intuition, nurturing, and receptive. These qualities are not exclusive to woman, but are universal aspects of our collective human spirit. Recognizing and embracing the feminine within each of us allow us to cultivate a more balanced, compassionate, and holistic approach to life. Okay? So why are we talking about the feminine energy? Because we live today in a society that does embrace the masculine energy and values the masculine energy a lot more than the feminine energy. And I'm not talking about, again, please, I'm not talking about being a woman or being a man. I'm talking about the energy, okay? You can give me an example of a society that is pushing us towards the masculine energy only, because that's what it's appreciated in the society today, right? It's action. It's mind, which is important too. Don't get me wrong. But if we only embrace one type of energy, we will never create the balance. As a society today, we know the importance of a masculine energy. We know. In order to survive, the masculine energy has everything to do with survival. Everything to do with survival. And we need to survive. But we cannot live our entire life to survive. And what we do when we embrace only the masculine energy of the universe, we waste our whole incarnation trying to survive. So we're looking for a balance. We're looking for a balance. And we are looking for this balance within us. How hard it is for a man to embrace the feminine side in society today. Who here was born, or at least at my age, they say boys don't cry? Right? Now, all the men out there, tell me, when was the last time you cried? And if you cried, if you are ashamed of crying. Right? Even for us, for women today. No, if we cry, we think it means that we are weak. Right? And we can't cry, you can't do this. You have to be productive all the time. And there is no one better than the other. That's why we experience one reincarnation, we might be a man, the next one we might be a woman, and then goes, on and on and on, because what we're looking for is the balance of these two very important forces of the universe. Okay? Is the balance. That's what we're looking for. Okay? One of the things that it's very strong on a feminine energy is compassion. And the world today is in need of compassion. Do you agree? When it comes to humanity, we need compassion is part of us. And we're not exploring this aspect of compassion. When Jesus says that, okay, let's be compassionate, he was not telling us to do the right thing to go to heaven. There is no such a thing. What he was trying to teach us is how to live a balanced life here on earth. And compassion, it's a feminine energy that we all need to exercise. Because if we don't exercise compassion, we lose touch with the feminine energy. That it's within every single one of us. Another thing is intuition. intuition that we're all looking for when we are in trouble. Seems like we are only looking for intuition when we are in trouble. You know, we were like, oh my God, please tell me what to do. Intuition, it's a feminine energy that we all have it too. That's how we're built, feminine and masculine. It's within us. But because we don't cultivate, because we don't embrace it, it's hard to find that intuition when we want it. It's very hard. Because, you know, it's just like you trying to collect a flower, pick a flower that you never even water once. You know? Because if you follow society the way we've been doing, blindly, we as collective, if we keep following society, we are staying away further and further and further from the feminine energy that's within us. And I don't mean go to the dress, to wear makeup, and I don't mean go to the salon. I don't mean to dress well. When you do that, it does not mean that you're accessing your feminine energy. I'm talking about intuition. I'm talking about sweetness. I'm talking about emotion. I'm talking about love. I'm talking about the feelings, the compassion, the intuition, everything that the feminine energy brings to us. Okay? So through history, many spiritual traditions have referred the feminine, the goddess, divine motherhood, the sacred feminine energy that flows through nature and the cosmos. This energy flows to the cosmos. It's a beautiful energy. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. From goddess Kali in Hinduism to Virgin Mary in Christianity, from the fertile earth goddess Gaia to the nurturing energy of the divine feminine in indigenous tradition, these symbols remind us of the vital role that femininity plays in the divine narrative. You know, we usually say that the sun represents the masculine energy, the moon represents the feminine energy. This is how we're trying to connect the dots to figure it out, the importance of this in our daily lives. But every spiritual tradition have taught us about the importance. And it's very sad because in every single religion, the main guy is a man. Think about it. You go to Judaism, you know, all this Moses and whatever the name of the prophet that will come, for sure they're not waiting for a woman. And then we have in Christianity, we have Jesus as the main character of everything. Muslim is what's the name? Mohammed, whatever. So in every single, even in Hindu, that they do have the goddess, but Shiva is the main guy. We have to realize that when we look back through history, we see that woman didn't even have a soul. Do you guys know that? 300-400 years ago, we didn't have a soul. Woman was nothing. Okay? So we learn through history to make sure that we too, as a woman, recognize the importance of the masculine energy. But the men have to recognize the importance of the feminine, and the woman too. And the woman too. It's not only like the reason why I told you why survival skills is what makes us embrace the masculine energy so much. Okay? But the first step to reverse this, so we find the balance here on earth and within us, is the recognition that we here, every single one of us here, we still value the masculine energy more than the feminine energy. And we shouldn't do that. We should be equal, okay? We should value both of this energy. Yet in many modern societies, the feminine has been marginalized and undervalued. And we agree with that? Okay? Not only as, I'm talking about, the feminine. We often have conditioned to prioritize logic over intuition. We do that all the time. All the time. Logic over intuition. That's the masculine over the feminine. That's what happens. Do we need to be logical? Yes, sometimes. But do we need intuition? Yes. We need both. We need both. And we have to look into ourselves and said, am I prioritize logic over intuition? Am I doing that? Everything has to be logical to me? And then we wonder why we lost connection with the spirituality. The connection to the spirituality cannot be through logical. It cannot be through logic. It has to be done through your intuition. You have to be able to open up your sense of intuition to be connected. Spirituality, like I said in the beginning, it's about connection. And how many of us are so proud to be so logical all the time? They taught us this, right? They teach us this. You have to be logical. Yes, you have to be logical. I agree. But not all the time. Sometimes things won't make sense to you. But it's still there. How many times? There's one of the very difficult things to explain Explain intuition using logic. It's a horrible idea. And that's what I'm trying to do here. It's terrible. Because People think that intuition is a thought, and it's not. Intuition is a feeling. You know when you have an intuition is when you do. How do you know this? This is the best way I can explain. How do you know this? The answer is, I do not know how I know. I just know that I know. And everybody had moments like this in their lives. That they go, no, I was going someplace and all of a sudden it was not a thought, it was nothing. I changed it and I decided to do this instead. And you know why we have this within us? Is when we start to observe the animals. Animals do not have the logic that we do. But pay attention to your dog or your cat at home. They know when you're gonna get home 10 minutes before you arrive. Now tell me how that's possible. Intuition. So if we as matter evolve from an animal to, I'm talking about matter, okay? If we evolve to animal, to a human being, that means that we gather all this information, all this knowledge that the animal have. You have it too. I'm not talking about knowledge. I'm talking about everything that you acquired as an animal is still within you today as human. But we are losing touch with that. Because we are losing touch with our feminine energy. We don't even think it's important how sad it is. How sad it is that we don't even embrace it and realize, wow, this is such a creative and important energy that I need to embrace it within myself. Okay? So, logic. Okay? If you become too logic, and there is such a thing as becoming too logic. Okay? You will lose your intuition. You have to be logical and intuitive. That's the goal. That's the spiritual access that we're trying to do. And recognize the moments that you are being too logical. Recognize it. Because we cannot explain everything with logic. Our brain is incapable of doing that. Tell me how you're going to explain God using logic. Are you ever going to be able to do that? No. But if I tell you, use your intuition, use your feeling, use your gut feeling, you can have an experience with the God within you. You can have that all the time that you want it. But I'm searching for a God within, even within, and sometimes outside, with logic. Not going to get there. Because you can't explain everything. You can't use logic to explain the universe. Logic only, what I'm saying. You have to use logic, but you cannot explain everything with logic. Look at the quantum physics. Look what they're doing to us. We're going, what? What? No, what? What do you mean? Quantum physics today is telling us that the past, the present, and the future, it's all happening simultaneously. It's everything in the same time. But our logic wants to interpret time. Time is something that only exists for us here on 3D. You look at this. You look at the star. At the stars, you might see a star that it's already dead, and you're still seeing that star in the sky. It's all through light. So can you use logic only to try to have an idea of what the universe is all about? No, you cannot. Now, when we say the universe is within you, everybody go, wow, that's so beautiful. It's true. Everything that it's made out, that creates the cosmos, creates you. In your body, everything is the same. But why, when we say the universe is within you, if you want to access the universe out there, you access your inner universe. So connected, right? So we have, okay, how that makes sense. This is how we use logic. But when we search for the universe within us, we are using the only thing we know how to use it. That is logic. And then you go in and say, you know what, Yonara? I don't feel anything. Nothing. When you don't feel anything, the basic question that you have to ask yourself is if you're not being only logical on the process. Because you feel being logical only, you're not going to feel. We became so attached to logic. And like I was saying to you, if you try to observe nature and you see the behavior of animals, if you see plants, let's not even go to animal, let's talk about plants. Plants that talk to each other. This is proven by science. An elephant starts to eat the leaves. They send a signal to the next So what they do is they produce a little bit that's gonna make the leaf a little bit sour. So the elephant won't eat it. Now tell me. And how we base our communication? Through words only. There is other ways to communicate. That's okay. There is other ways to communicate with the universe that has nothing to do with words. Nothing to do with words. Sometimes we think nothing to do. What is thoughts? Thoughts are words that you don't speak, but they are words, right? This is what thought is. If you speak English, you're gonna think in English. If you speak two languages, you might have both. I have Portuguese thought and I have English thoughts. But I don't have Japanese thoughts, do you? No. Chinese? Anybody? No. Right? And we rely on thoughts only. We think thoughts only. And then people want to communicate with aliens. Aliens speak English? Portuguese? Chinese? Yeah. They don't speak any language. So how do we connect with them? You know how to use this?
Telepathy.
No. Telepathy is mind. It's thought. It's very real. I can send a thought for you and you catch. That's not it. Intuition, it's not thoughts. Okay? Let me tell you this. Let's go over this. How many animals die in a tsunami? That big one in Thailand. How many people? Huh? 0. They all knew. There is other ways to communicate with the universe that it's not language, that it's not thoughts, and it's within us. But if we believe that the only way that we can communicate is through thoughts and language, we're not gonna access. You see why? You cannot access what you don't think it's possible. Because logic is dominating the whole space. And then when we only explore one side of this wonderful complex being that we are, we live a life that, we can live an extraordinary life, unbelievable, beautiful life. We can, here. We don't have to go to heaven, to Nossa Casa. No, here. We can have wonderful lives here. Okay, so action over reflection. This is, again, the masculine over the feminine. Okay? Competition over collaboration. But true spiritual growth requires us to honor the full spectrum of human quality, the balance of the masculine and the feminine within ourselves. Okay? Think about that. I'm not saying that action, we need action. We need action. But we also need reflection. What, Luigi? You saying something? No?
I'm listening.
Yeah, no, Luigi that was saying. Okay? And then the masculine energy is very competitive. And I'm not talking about man or woman here. Some woman can be very competitive because the masculine image is very competitive. Now, if you play sports, you're going to need that energy. This is what it's all about. You want to compete on sports, you're going to need to be competitive. Okay? But doesn't have to be that the competition becomes over the collaboration. No?
Well, because they need collaboration to build a team as well.
Yeah, but collaboration on a feminine side is when you no longer use your competition feeling to compete, so you have to be the best at work, the best at the center, the best of this, the best of that. This is huge within us. I'm going to allow questions. Write it down, Lesonga. This is big with us because society wants us to be competitive. So they do. I want you to understand how we get pushed to the masculine energy. Society wants us to compete. Okay? So this comes in. When you're in a kindergarten, who gets the best grade? Oh, that's a competition. It's built. Like for this whole time since we were born, the masculine energy, it's all they taught us. As family, as society, as everything else. And that becomes a problem. Okay? And it doesn't mean that man and woman have different, I'm not talking about this, or a woman has to stay home. No. And a man has to be a provider. No. I'm not talking about this, guys. Please, don't get confused. Woman and man can both be cooperative. They both can work together. Has nothing to do with this, what society is trying to tell us today. Okay? Embracing the feminine in spirituality invite us to cultivate qualities such as patience. Oh, so good, right? We're running out of patience, people, you know? Like we don't even have patience on traffic, you know? Simple things in life. This is how we're losing touch with that feminine side. Empathy, like I said, surrender. It's beautiful, right? Surrender. It's so wonderful. And then people said, I'm not able to surrender, you know? If you don't cultivate the feminine energy within you, you're not going to be able to surrender. Okay? To our inner voice, to the rhythm of nature, and to the collective heartbeat of humanity. This sacred feminine energy is a sort of strength, resilience, and wisdom, guiding us through times of change and uncertainty. Okay? So let me make this clear, very clear. One more time. When I say feminine, am I talking about woman? Huh? No. I'm talking about this energy that creates the universe, that it has a feminine side and a masculine side. Doesn't matter what body you have right now, as a woman or as a man, okay? As we open ourselves to the divine feminine, we foster a more inclusive and compassionate world. We learn to nurture ourselves and others, to heal wounds, both personal and collective, and to build communities rooted in love, understanding, and respect. Without this feminine energy, we're not going to go anywhere as humanity. Because we need a balance. All the peace, all the wonderful world that we are searching, that we want to leave behind for our kids, for the next generation, they need the feminine energy. We are in need of the feminine energy. Okay? The other day I was talking to my husband, because when you say build community, root in love, understanding, respect, and this build community, we have to start with our families. So we were talking about the other day how competitive husband and wife sometimes can become. Look, the excess of masculine energy in a woman and in a man, that the husband and wife start to compete. Who is a better parent? Who is better than this? Who makes more money? Who's this? Who's that? Who's that? Who's that? And don't you agree that that's the end of a relationship? When you start to compete with your spouse, we have to be careful, because we don't always do that knowing that we're doing that. But we want to look good, and we have to be careful with that. We don't have to look good. We're all the same. Remember that. You can't be careful with the need to be good. You can be good if you want to, as long as you don't feel like you're better than anybody else. Because the moment that you feel that you're better than anybody else, somebody else was always going to be better than you. And you're going to be frustrated. Your whole life is going to get built in frustration. Because there is always going to be somebody better than you. So be careful. We're not here to compete. Okay? Let us remember that spirituality is not about escaping the world, but about engaging within more consciously and compassionately, embracing the feminine aspect of our spiritual journey, help us to reconnect with innate wisdom and nurturing power that resides within each of us. That's important. That power, that nurturing power, it's within every single one of us. It's already there. It's already there. And it's a power that sometimes we're looking, because we're so connected to the masculine side, that we're looking for a different type of power that is connected with control. No. Okay, we have a nurturing power within every single one of us. That it's wonderful. And in closing, I invite you all to celebrate and honor the feminine. Can we do that, people? It's time. It's time. Within yourself and within the world around you, let us nurture qualities of compassion, intuition, and love, and doing so create a more harmonious and spiritual and rich world for generations to come. This is a very special power. Okay, now I want you to just take a deep breath and think about what I said. Okay? Just reflect. Reflect in what I said. Take a deep breath, that breath. Okay, let me see. Let's use the logic now. Okay? Let's use your logic right now. Okay? I want to ask you, did that make sense to you? And if not, if you have a question, maybe something that it could help to make sense, something that I said that, oh, maybe it's not that way, I don't get it. Questions. Mm-hmm.
I got it, but my question is,
mm-hmm.
how do we develop that intuition?
Okay, great. So, one of the things that the intuition comes from is from the act of observation. The act of observe things. Have you seen how animals, they live on a right present moment all the time, and they are so present. That's why they know that you are coming, because they live in the present. The way we live today, because of our mind, we barely live in the present. We are living in the past, like the thoughts are going through the past, or we live in the future, like we're always thinking about what's next, what's next, what's next, what's next. And the intuition part of it, it comes in the present moment. And the way you become present is not through the mind. You cannot be present using your mind. Did you guys know that? You cannot be in the present using your mind. Because at the moment that you use your mind, you're already someplace else. So your mind, you cannot observe and think at the same time. You have to choose between one and another. So if you are truly observing something, and if I ask you this, your life depends, and if I show you this pen for 5 minutes, okay, you need to be able to tell me everything about this pen. So you're going to pay so much attention to every single details that you're going to realize that when you are paying attention, when you are observing, okay, why we use observe your breath through meditation. Why are we doing this? Because you are observing. At the moment that you are observing, you're not thinking, but then the mind comes in, and then we say what? Go back to your breath. Why? Because you want to observe. You have to put your attention even in your breath or on anything surrounded you. That's meditation. Okay? So intuition comes on the act of observation. And the most important thing, observation without conclusion. Okay? You got it? So how do I observe this? So I usually go for a walk, right? And then I look at it and said, I'm going to observe that tree. And then I'm observing all of a sudden, it's so beautiful, look at this green, so good. That's a conclusion. Okay? So the act to observe without conclusion. Just observe. That's how you develop your intuition. Any other questions? Come on, people, reflect upon it.
Yeah. All the feminine aspect, but what is the masculine aspect?
The masculine is what we're living right now. We're very well developed on the masculine power that we have.
Words, like you mentioned the feminine.
Actions, survival, thinking, sharp, you know, like men's, the masculine energy seems to be very intellectual, okay? There's a very, everything that you need to survive in this world today, and we all do, is because of the masculine energy. So if you become too feminine, meaning, even I'm not talking about woman or man, okay? But if the feminine power, if the feminine energy, it's overwhelming you, you're gonna be a person. If you don't have the masculine energy, you're gonna be that person that is crying on a sofa all day. Poor me, oh, this and this, because you don't have the action. The action is from the masculine side. So if we live in a world that it's all feminine, it also is going to be a disaster. Okay? Like no action, nobody's doing anything, everybody's so emotional. No, that is not that. It's the balance. What we're looking for is the balance through the universe between these two energies. You do need it. Can't live without the masculine energy. Can't. You simply can't. But you need the feminine too. And you can't live only with the feminine. You need the masculine too. Anybody else? Any other questions? No? Okay. So we're going to do our little bit of meditation / prayer. And let's experience this energy. What do you say? Let's, no more talking, and let's practice this. Let's go ahead and please do not use logic. Let's, for 5 minutes only, let us focus on our breath. Let's go ahead and we can listen to the music for an example and just breathe. Listen to my voice. Doesn't have to make any sense. You don't have to use your mind at all. Please don't. Just pay a lot of attention in my voice. Listen to my voice. let's go in together. You don't have to do any effort. And let's access this feminine energy within us. Please don't do anything, just listen. Let's access together all the compassion that it's within you, it's within us. Let's access the wisdom. Keep observing. Don't do anything. Just listen to my voice. It's not about action. Just listen to my voice. And feel this feminine energy within you. No expectation, you're not supposed to feel anything, just pay attention to my voice. Open your heart chakra. Breathe. Listen to the music. Give value to that energy. This energy is full of value. Please acknowledge that. You don't have to use your mind. Feel like the moon is within you. This energy of creativity, of patience, of love. Breathe and nurture yourself. Please do not take any action. Just listen. Nurture yourself with this energy. May all the feminine in the universe be honored in this moment. Let the feminine energy of the cosmos be honored tonight. Okay? Can open our eyes right now. And thank you so much. And we'll have the pass next. Thank you.